Hi everyone, welcome back to my lab, and today's video, which is going to be a little bit of a get ready with me try on session using some Shop My Stash products, some newer products to my collection, as well as some that you may have seen in previous hauls. If you're new here, I'm Jody. Thank you for joining me for today's video. I hope you're going to enjoy this one and consider subscribing and joining our growing makeup family. As always, a big thank you to my first 5 commenters on my previous video. I really appreciate all your love and support, and I always enjoy hearing your thoughts in the comment section. Those that have YouTube channels will have the YouTube logo and be linked down below in case you're looking for some new channels to watch. Now, without any further delay, let's go ahead and get into this video. Even though the topics of my last video were not so uplifting, I did actually enjoy the format where I just sat down and I put on some makeup and I shared some thoughts about the makeup and some thoughts about life as well. And so I wanted to do the same thing. I have this basket. It's basically stuff I've picked up recently. Some of it's Shop My Stash, some of it is makeup I hauled and I want to follow up on. It's just a variety of makeup that I wanted to share with you. One thing I did note is that I am definitely an eyeshadow first kind of person. I really enjoy the ability to be as messy as I want and then kind of clean up later so that my complexion is nice and clean. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my eyes first. I was going to use either the Natasha Denona Zendo palette. I was thinking about using the new Give Me Glow Cosmetics, the pastel palette. What is it called? Pastel Dreams, I think, or the Melt Cosmetics Mary Jane palette. But when I opened up my YouTube this morning while I was flat ironing my hair, usually I watch a couple of YouTube videos, I noticed that pretty much my entire feed was filled with it, especially with the Zendo palette. A lot of the larger channels are doing that one, and then a lot of the smaller channels I watch are doing the Give Me Glow palette. So I figured let me just do something else that's relatively new, but isn't one of those two, so I could give you something different to look at. And so I'm going to be using a palette from Adept Cosmetics. I just primed using my Makeup by Mario eye primer. So the palette that I'm going to be using is by Adept Cosmetics. I was not able to purchase it on the initial launch. I was there on the website trying to get it, refreshing as you do with indie makeup, but unfortunately I was not able to purchase it on the first launch and I had to wait for a restock. And I just recently received it in the mail. Adept Cosmetics is one of those brands that has consistently impressed me with the level of their customer service, even though they're a smaller brand. So this is the Ninhydrin palette. And the reason why I wanted to use this one is because I have been watching Spanish soap operas, and there was a look that I saw that I thought I could create with a palette like this one. Here's what it looks like. Adept Cosmetics has really impressed me as a brand. And so I've been watching those Spanish soap operas, and there was a very smoky look that was a very smoky traditional eye with a more matte complexion, very neutral complexion, and so that's what we're trying today. I think I want to stay more in the blue family. There's only 2 mattes in this palette, and I'm going to kind of stay true to just using this palette. So I think I'm going to use this one. I'm also going to be using this BK Beauty brushes. This one is 202. It's interesting because recently I've been seeing a lot of people start to feature these brushes. I think that the company sent out PR to a lot of smaller channels, which is great to see. I saw Alejandra Lisette and a couple of other, smaller YouTube channels, well, they're larger than me obviously, using the brushes, and I wanted to feature them. I did not receive them for free. I bought these brushes myself. I bought them last year. They were having like a holiday sale and I bought them then. And I was actually super impressed at the quality of the brushes. I've used them quite a bit since then. I've used all the ones that I have. I don't have the entire collection, but I have a good amount of them. And I have put them through several washes and I have been really impressed. I usually like natural hair brushes, the Japanese Fude, but for cream products and things like that, or if I'm doing like really colorful makeup that I don't want to mess up my good brushes, I like to have some synthetic brushes on hand. And so I went ahead and I picked these up because I had been seeing a lot about them on larger channels that receive them in PR, and I just wanted to try them, see how they were, and I'm actually really impressed. These brushes are definitely on par with quality such as It Cosmetics and even Hourglass. In my opinion, they surpass Luxie Beauty or Sigma Beauty brushes. I do like Sigma Beauty brushes, mostly the face brushes. The eye brushes, I'm not that much of a fan, but these definitely exceed their quality in my opinion. And even though my order didn't come complete, I mentioned this when I hauled the brushes, customer service did get right back to me and they sent me a replacement right away of the missing items. And so my customer service experience was good. I did notice that they are featured on Magic Links, which is the website that I use to create monetized links. And so I'll link them down below in case you were interested in checking them out. I do recommend them. I've washed them several times and I haven't had to use brush shapers or anything like that. So like I said, this look is inspired by a soap opera that I've been doing. It really isn't anything other than a very traditional smoky eye. That's why I'm taking a clean brush. This one is the 201 and I'm just diffusing the color. At this point, I'm debating on whether I want to put that base shade on the lid, and I think I actually do. So I'm going to just pack some of this in the center part, just lightly. So even though the palette looks a little intimidating, this could definitely be a one and done kind of look. I want to stick to some of the blues, so I think I'm going to use this shade and then a little bit of this one in the center to give it more light. I'm going to go ahead and apply it with my fingertip. So now that I kind of packed that color on, I'm going to diffuse it just a little bit using another brush. This one is the 203. I'm being careful to let you know the brushes I'm using in case you were interested in picking up specific ones. As I'm blending it, I'm also being careful to only do the edges because I don't want to disrupt the beautiful sparkle. It's definitely more sparkly than what I saw in my TV show, but that's okay. I'm just reapplying a little bit of the matte on the inner and outer corners. All right, and now like I said, for a little extra sparkle, I'm going to go with that first shade, ACI 20, and I am just going to place this right in the center. I love the way their iridescent shades layer. Look at that. It just gives it such a special touch. It's right in the center. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm actually sad I didn't put a picture of it on Instagram in its pristine form, but I find that if I wait until I can take pictures for Instagram, sometimes I just don't enjoy my makeup right away and then it sits, and I definitely didn't want to do this with this palette. It's so pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and use the Pat McGrath mascara. This one is the Dark Star mascara. I like this mascara okay. I'm not in love with it. I don't think that it's the best mascara for my lashes. I have lashes of a decent length and they do kind of curl up naturally. I don't have the issue where my lashes are straight. I know a lot of times people struggle with that. My lashes are pretty full as well, so what I prefer in my mascaras are lengthening effects as well as separation, and this one is more of a volumizing mascara in my opinion. But one thing that I really appreciated about it is that it didn't flake throughout the day and it was actually quite easy to remove. Using my makeup cleansing balm, I'm using the one from Good Molecules right now, but it was really easy to remove and I didn't feel that I was like pulling off my lashes or anything. I'm not seeing a lot of fallout at all. I see a few sparkles here or there where I kind of touched my face, but nothing too crazy. For my primer, I'm going to use this Porefessional hydrating primer. I mentioned to you guys that I've kind of neglected my skincare routine a little bit. Not 100%, but a little bit. This is a product that's fairly new. I received it in my BoxyCharm and I was just trying it out. I put it in my Shop My Stash, the last Shop My Stash I filmed, which I really need to film a new one. And I think that it is hydrating, but it's definitely one of those pore filling primers. And I personally prefer hydrating, like super hydrating, dewy, glowy primers. It just doesn't go with the look I'm going for today. So I'm going to use this Wonder Beauty. It's the Nude Illusion Liquid Foundation. And I actually found that this foundation was completely not what I was expecting. It's a heavier foundation that I'm used to using. It's also a little bit more mattified, which goes perfectly for the look I had in mind today. It applies with one of those doe foot applicators, which it doesn't really bother me because I'm just using the makeup on myself. But if you're a makeup artist, obviously, this is one that you would probably struggle with a little bit more. I picked mine up in the shade medium and I'm just gonna go ahead and blend that out. So you can see as it's blending out, it has a natural finish. And for me, a natural finish foundation kind of goes matte. since my skin is so dry. In terms of coverage, you can actually get more coverage with this foundation, but as you can see, I never apply heavy layers of foundation. I'm a little bit older, and if I apply heavy foundation, it looks really cakey. It's just not a flattering look on my skin type. Plus, generally speaking, I need mostly like something to even out my complexion and cover up like hyperpigmentation. In terms of concealer, I don't know that this is necessarily going to go with my look, but I'm using this one from Tarte. And the reason why I'm using it is because it's the last one from my Shop My Stash that I haven't used in the past. It's in the shade Light Medium Neutral, and it's the Rainforest of the Sea concealer. I have had it for so long. I have no idea if it's something that they still stock, but as usual, I will link all the products that I'm using in the description box down below in case you're interested in picking any of the products up for yourself. Here's what the packaging looks like. It's very, very cute. It also has a big doe foot applicator, so I'm not too sure about the coverage of this concealer, so I'm just gonna put a few dots. But being Rainforest of the Sea, it kind of makes you think that it's gonna be something lightweight and hydrating, but I'm not sure. Because I'm using a brush, I think that it's giving me a lot higher coverage than it might normally if I used a sponge, but just like last time, I was lazy and I did not go dampen my sponge. I usually do like how concealer applies with a sponge. Given that I waited to blend out the second eye, it's not a concealer that sets super fast, but it actually has more coverage than I thought. So there you have one layer of the concealer. I'm gonna set it with the Patrick Star One Size powder. I used this powder in my last video. I'm still kind of trying to figure out how I feel about it. My two favorites are still the Charlotte Tilbury powder, the pressed version, as well as the Pat McGrath under eye setting powder. I think those are just really great for my under eye area. I think that they minimize creasing and they minimize the look of crepiness. This one might be better for an all over face powder, but I don't powder my face too much. So this is kind of where I try out my powders. I do actually want to finish my eyes, so I'm going to go back to the palette and I'm going to go ahead and run that matte shade underneath my lower lash line. This time I'm using a BK Beauty 204 brush. This one is really good for smudging out the lower lash line. Ordinarily, when I do something like a spotlight eye, I will mimic the shimmer shade on the lower lash line as well, but I really want the focus to be kind of on the top part of the eye, so I won't be doing that today. My under eye is looking kind of dry. It's funny because I can use a more mattifying concealer, like the Cover FX concealer is one of my favorites for glam looks because it is matte, but it doesn't make my under eyes look crepey. So from here, the idea is to make the rest of the face look pretty matte and very neutral. So I want to try out this product from Patrick Ta. This is the new contour duo. What is it called? Major Sculpt Cream Contour and Powder Bronzer Duo. So I'm going to go ahead and try this one. Here's what that one looks like. It looks a lot like the Tom Ford palettes. I do like that, like Natasha Denona, the cream is separated from the powder. So I'm going to go ahead and use this brush. And I'm going to kind of cream contour here. I like this kind of shape for cream contouring because it kind of settles right in the hollows. In general, I think no matter what, no cream product is going to be, or cream contour is going to be as loved for me as the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contour one. I really like the Natasha Denona Sculpt and Glow palette as well. As a contour, I find it a little bit warmer than I'm used to. I really like to contour with more cool tone shades. This one has a lot more warmth to it. Touching the product, it's super emollient, super emollient. So I'm actually surprised that it isn't lifting up my foundation, but I think the brush actually has a lot to do with that. I've tried some of the cream blush duos, like cream and powder, and I like those quite a lot as well. I like the way that it blends. I'm going to apply a little bit underneath my lip, and I also like a little bit down the sides of my nose. Let's see how the bronzer works out. I'm not sure if it's the packaging. I think it is the packaging. It's kind of looking very orange when I hold it up to the camera, but when I actually apply it, it's quite a nice neutral color. So I'm going to go ahead and take some of the powder. So far, I think I'm kind of nailing the theme that I wanted to do, which was having more mattified skin. The powder, even though it's not 100% matte, it doesn't have any shimmer to it. As typical for these mirrored compacts, my fingerprints are all over it. For blush, I'm I'm going to go with this Kimchi Chic blush, and the reason for that is because it's quite neutral. I'm going to apply just a little bit, and I'm onto both sides. These blushes, actually, when you swatch them, they seem a little bit powdery, but they apply really nicely to the skin, and I feel like it gives that matte blush look. I'm looking for that really velvety finish to my skin. For my lip products, I want to try these. I bought them from the Ulta website. You know, nothing against Jaclyn Hill. I actually learned a lot from her in terms of makeup application and stuff, but I had to laugh a little bit when she came out with, I think it was a Valentine collection or something. It was around February, where it was a mystery box with lip products, and I was not going to buy a mystery box of lip products from Jaclyn Cosmetics. I just didn't feel comfortable doing so. Like, given everything that happened, that's asking a lot of your supporters. So I'm gonna use this lip liner. I like that it's sharpenable. I prefer sharpenable lip and eye pencils. This one is in the shade Bourbon. It's very creamy. So anyway, I wasn't gonna buy a mystery box, and I was really happy when I saw that her products were going to be at Ulta, because then, you know, Ulta kind of stands behind their return policy just in case anything goes wrong. And I've since picked up her blush and bronzer duos. I got some of the highlighters because once they were discontinued, then everybody was raving about them, which it was frustrating since I didn't pick them up on the initial launch. But now I did, I have them, and I can definitely use those in another video. This is a really nice shade. I don't know if the liquid lip will be dark enough, so I'm gonna kind of run this in the corners. Anyway, long story short, when I saw these at Ulta, I was like, okay, I will try Jaclyn Cosmetics. I have quite a few items from her line. Like I said, it's nothing personal. It's just, it's natural, I guess, in my opinion, to be a little apprehensive. So I picked up the shade Absolutely. The color on the top, when I first saw it, I was like, wow, that wasn't the color I wanted. But I don't think it's fully representative of the shade itself. I don't know. The packaging is nice. Let's see if it has a smell. It's one of those that smell like cake, which I like. This one is looking a lot peachier than I thought. It's very lightweight. It is more peachy than I wanted for this specific look, but it's so hard to buy things online, as you know. You know, I have to say, even though it's more peachy than I was going for this look, I wanted something a little bit more nude. When I was buying the shade online, I wasn't thinking about this look anyways. I was just trying to pick a lipstick that would be flattering on my skin tone, and so I'm not surprised I picked something warm. It feels really nice. It's definitely a matte liquid lipstick. It's drying down, but it feels really lightweight. I didn't apply a lot, but it's actually, so far I'm impressed. For highlight, I think I'm going to try this product by, is it Saie? Saie? I'm not sure how to pronounce this one. It's one of those gift with purchase I was able to pick up, just like the Patrick Star one, but I figured what a great way to try out the brand. Now this is a liquid illuminator, so I'm just going to apply a little bit to my fingertips and see how it'll layer. It's really watery, super watery. I'm barely dabbing, so I don't feel that it's picking up my foundation, but because it's so runny, I have to like really blend. I think this might be a product best used maybe mixed in with your foundation. I'm not sure. It blends nicely and it's definitely subtle. You can tell how subtle it is since I'm wearing more of a matte look, and you can see just a little bit of luminosity on the tops of my cheekbones. It actually blended in okay with my fingertips, but maybe going in with a beauty blender or mixing it in with foundation. This is a ton of product. I just put one tiny little pump and I was able to do both cheeks, as you can see. Maybe on a no makeup day, I'm not sure. If you've tried out this product, let me know what you think. I'm so glad I got a sample. I am loving playing with samples so that I don't have to buy full-size products that are going to go into my collection and disappear amongst all the other highlighters that I have. But this is the finished look. Playing with makeup today, I had a lot of fun. Let me put on some regular clothes, fix my hair, and we will regroup and kind of collect our thoughts on all the products we tried out today. All right, so we are all zoomed out so you can get the big picture. I was inspired and I decided to match my dress to my eyeshadow because why not? I really like the look that we came up with. There's some elements that I like more than others. Did I nail my inspiration? Not really, mostly because my lipstick is a little bit darker than I was going for, but we'll try that again next time with some other products. Let's go ahead and summarize what I thought of the products that I used. The primer palette is something that I've mentioned in the past. It's something that I do enjoy, especially because I have more oily eyelids and it has a tendency to be a little bit more of a dry formula. With regard to the Adept Cosmetics palette, I'm really impressed. I knew I would be. Obviously, I only used 3 shades today, but I'm really excited to see that they have another palette along the Plain Jane palette that has a lot of these iridescent shades. They are some of my favorites from their line because they have a shimmer and a sparkle that is just so beautiful on the eye. You saw when I was applying it. So I made my look with these 3 shades right here, but I definitely can't wait to dig into this more green section. I love green eyeshadow, as you know, and I'm also really excited to hear that they're going to be coming out with a new palette. It's the Kodani. I'm not exactly sure how it's pronounced, but it's going to have a lot of these special finishes of theirs as well. I did a whole video with Adept Cosmetics last year. I will link that in the cards above in case you want to check that out. But the Ninhydrin palette is no different. Very impressed. I kind of commented on these two as I was going. Neither are going to be my favorite foundation or primer, but I think both worked out for the purpose that I wanted today. And I do enjoy how my complexion is looking. The concealer, the jury's out on this one. I need to try it out with some of my more hydrating foundations, which I think may be more of a compliment to the concealer. My under eyes are looking nice. They look better on camera than they do in person, I promise you. But so far, I think this is okay. I don't think anyone is checking for this concealer anymore. I think it's okay, but only my first time trying it. I think that this is the culprit with regard to me feeling like the concealer is looking a little bit dry. I have a feeling that this Patrick Star powder, it's called, see, it's the One Size Translucent Powder. I'm not exactly sure, but I have a feeling that this is the culprit. I'm gonna try the concealer again with some of my more hydrating lightweight powders. This one might be more suitable for people who enjoy baking or a more heavily set base. Very glad I just have the mini for that. I talked at length about the mascara. The lower lash mascara is constant. Always the MAC Gigablack Lash Extended Play Mascara. Always. With regard to the Patrick Ta contour, I like it. I don't think that it's a super intense contouring product. When I'm looking for a really chiseled look rather than a warmer tone than I'm wearing today, I have a feeling that I'm going to stick to my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contour Wand. This one is very warm. I do have mine in the medium shade, which is the She's Sculpted shade. There's a lighter and a deeper as well. I do think that this one has a nice range in terms of the depths that are available, so I do recommend you look at it if you were curious. Is it changing my life right now? Not really, but it does blend really nicely. It went really well over a more mattified foundation. I'm putting it back in the box because I haven't hauled it for you. This is one of the things that I got just prior to the Sephora sale. I bought it kind of right when it launched. The Kimchi Chic blush, I have mine in the shade 06 Vacation. If you're interested in any of these products, which I have some of the bronzers, I have a highlight, 2 blushes. I chose this one because I was going for a more neutral, kind of more flat, not flat, that's not the way I want to say it. I was looking for more of a velvet finish, and these are definitely matte finish powders, but they don't make my skin look too dry. I like that every compact comes with 2 shades, so you have some options there. I don't think you necessarily have to pay full price for these ever. If you sign up for the emails from the Kimchi Chic website, you'll see that they have promotions going on all of the time. I believe you can find some of these products on Beauty Bay as well, so if you're ever placing an order and you want to toss something in your cart, I do recommend these. Just know that they are more of a matte finish. They feel very powdery and dry to the touch, but I think that once you apply them to your skin, they actually look really nice. So these are nice, and I've shared them on my videos before. The Saie highlighter, I don't know if I mentioned my shade. This is the shade Star Glow, another sample size product that I got to try, so I'm really excited. I'm actually really liking the way my highlighter looks. It's exactly what I was looking for with this kind of look. It's highlighted the high points of my cheek, but you don't see any glitter whatsoever. There's no glitter there. It just is a healthy kind of glow. It looks like a lip from within look, but it does come out very liquidy, so if you're one that heavily powders your foundation, I'm not sure if it would interrupt it. Again, it's only my first time using it, and I applied it with my fingertips over the tops of my cheekbones. When I put it on, it was really wet, as you saw, but once I patted it in, it blended really nicely, and also it fused with the rest of my look really well when I used my setting spray. I have a mini of this, which I've mentioned in one of my beauty R&R videos where I rank 5 products and I share mini makeup reviews, and I mentioned that I wasn't like super over the moon with this product, but what I wanted to say is my mini, something happened to the pump. I went to set my face because I was looking at not for something super glowy, and my current Shop My Stash is this one from Glow Recipe, which is definitely glowy. I wanted something that wasn't going to really alter the finish of my products, but really set and blend the products together. So I went ahead and I used this one, but the mini that I had, something happened to my pump. I was trying to pump it and it wouldn't go, and then I forced it, and now it doesn't work. So I started working with this one that I got in my Beautylish Lucky Bag from this year. And basically once I get it low enough, I'm gonna just dump in the contents of the mini, which is a shame because the minis are good for traveling, which we might be able to do soon. Last but not least, my lip combo from Jaclyn Cosmetics, which are the first products I feature from her brand on my channel. I'm actually really impressed with these. I have now had my makeup on for a good hour since I went to fix my hair, I went to get dressed, I was having a snack, etc, etc. These are really, really nice. I mean, I know I was talking a little smack, not really. I was just giving you my honest opinion of what I thought of her mystery boxes, but these are actually quite nice. I am so glad that they are in Ulta. I would definitely consider throwing in a couple more into my cart. The lip liner is very creamy. I did notice that the lip liners have been more popular, at least on the Ulta website, because some of the shades are starting to sell out. Sharpenable, as I mentioned, very creamy. It stays put. It layers well over the lipstick as well. I touched up a little bit around my lip line after I applied the liquid lipstick. The liquid lipstick has that cake fragrance. It's actually really nice. It's very lightweight. It is matte. It is transfer proof. I only put a very light layer so it's comfortable. It's not cracking on my lips. I'm talking freely and actually I'm actually kind of impressed with this one. A lip liner is a lip liner, and you can get a variety of different lip liners to work well. I don't know, but it's really nice and actually paired together once I kind of tweaked it a little bit and did my lip line a little bit darker. I like the lip combo. I don't know if I mentioned the shade that I picked up in the liquid lipstick. It is in the shade Absolutely, and it looked more like a peachy nude, which is fine. Not 100% what I was going for today, but in the end, it pulled together really nicely. And honestly, I'm really impressed. Also with the brushes, I showed you pretty much all the brushes I had. I have these as well that I didn't use in today's look, but they're very, very nice brushes as well. This is one, I actually just forgot to use it. I do like to use it for powder highlight. I can use it to set underneath the eye. I can also use it for more pinpointed application of blush. This one I also use for blush. It is the 103. And then this large buffer 105 is one that I use for a final buff, or I can use it if I'm being really quick and lazy with foundation as well. It actually works really well that way. From today's little experiment, if I had to pick my top 3 choices, the brushes, of course, but I knew that because I've had them for a long time. Like I said, I bought them myself last year, didn't get it for free. I think it's really important to get the opinion of someone who paid for the products to see if they're actually worth it, and those are really nice brushes. The Jaclyn Hill lipstick, I stand corrected. And then, of course, the Adept Cosmetics Ninhydrin Palette. I put it back in the box. I think it stays newer that way, and I want to take a picture for Instagram for sure with some swatches of that one as well. But of the products that I tried today, I have to say those were the top 3. The brushes, the lipstick, and the Ninhydrin palette. Let me know what you thought of the overall look. If you've used any of these products, I'd love to hear your experience with them as always. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you're doing really, really well, and I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon on my next one. Bye-bye.